Hey guys, Neely here. I'm coming in today for a freezer cooking video. I have done this recipe before, a recipe video for it for the Instant Pot, but it wasn't a freezer cooking version, and so I wanted to do another video and show you how I freeze it so I can pull it out quickly out of the freezer and have a delicious meal very quickly. It is creamy pork chops with mushrooms, and it is made with coconut milk, so it is a non-dairy creamy version. The first thing I'm gonna do is chop my onions and mushrooms. I need about 1 cup of finely chopped onions and about 8 ounces of mushrooms. All right, I'm ready to start assembling, and this is the container I'm going to use to freeze everything except for the meat. I will freeze that separately in a Ziploc bag and then throw them together in the Instant Pot when it's time to cook. But in here, I'm gonna add my mushrooms. This is 8 ounces of chopped mushrooms, and it's maybe about 2.5 to 3 cups worth. And then I have about a cup of chopped onions. Now I'm gonna add my spices. I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and I'm just kind of sprinkling it around. I don't want it all in one giant clump. I'm going to do a teaspoon of garlic powder and 1 teaspoon of onion powder. And then I have about 2 tablespoons of fresh thyme. I have fresh from my garden right now, but if you don't have fresh, you can use 2 teaspoons of dried thyme. And now I'm going to add my liquids. I'm going to do 1 cup of broth, and of course I made this broth in my Instant Pot. And then I'm going to do 1 cup of coconut milk. And this part is ready to put a lid on and pop in the freezer. All right, now for my pork chops, I have about 2 to 3 pounds of boneless pork chops, and I'm just gonna go ahead and sprinkle these with salt and pepper. And then in my Ziploc bag here, I'm just gonna carefully place the pork chops in the bag, kind of in a circle shape, small enough that will fit inside the Instant Pot when I'm ready to cook it. I don't wanna freeze it all spread out because then I'll have to defrost it before I cook it in the Instant Pot, and I want it just to be super simple so I can just pull it out of the freezer and throw it in the Instant Pot and turn it on. So you can see I kind of just put them in the bag in kind of a flower shape, a little swirl in a circle that will fit inside my Instant Pot when I'm ready to cook. I sealed it up, got out as much air as possible. I'm just gonna set it on top of my other container and make sure it stays in its nice little circle like that. And then this is ready to pop in the freezer. All right, through the magic of television, it has been several weeks now since I made this freezer meal, and I am ready to cook it for dinner. My husband's gonna be home in about an hour, so that should give me plenty of time to get this done. When you have a freezer meal, you definitely have to plan for more time than if it was all fresh ingredients. So the first thing I'm gonna do is hit saute just to get my pot starting to heat up, and usually I do that before I go out and grab the food from the freezer. Just the very first thing I do when I come into the kitchen is turn on the Instant Pot so it can start heating up, and that will make it just a little bit quicker. Then I am gonna put the pork chops on the bottom. I always put the meat on the bottom because that's where most of the heat is gonna be. And the pork chops, of course, are the main thing that I want to make sure get completely cooked. So those are gonna go directly on the bottom of the pot. And then I just ran a little bit of water on the bottom of this container until the soup popped out. So all I'm gonna do is just dump this in. And I did wanna mention that if you don't want to leave your containers in the freezer for weeks on end, you can pop it out like this and then throw it into a Ziploc bag, and it's easy to store that way. So I am just going to throw this on the top of my meat, and that is what it looks like. One effect of putting the meat on the bottom with the liquid not defrosted yet is your meat can actually get a little bit of browning before the broth in the soup base melts, so that adds a little bit of flavor to the meal. I'm gonna go ahead and lock my lid. Make sure it's turned to sealing. And now I'm gonna turn off the saute mode, and I am going to cook it on manual for 35 minutes. I just wanted to mention real quick that occasionally these freezer recipes have a little bit of trouble getting up to pressure when you just throw in everything frozen. Occasionally the float valve will not pop up, but it'll start counting down the cook time. And if that happens, all you need to do is cancel the program and then add like half a cup of water to your pot, put the lid back on, and try again, and you should have no problem. And you can add that half a cup of water at the beginning, but I do like to try to get that browning on the meat if I can. So if you're gonna be starting it and walking away and not able to come back and check on it, just go ahead and add a half a cup of water at the beginning, just to be on the safe side. While my pork chops are cooking, I just am making a box of pasta to go with it. This recipe is great with pasta. It's also great with rice or mashed potatoes, all great options. It finished its cook time and it's been on keep warm for 6 minutes, so I let the pressure naturally release for about 6 minutes, and now I'm gonna quick release the rest. Here we go. That is what it looks like. And now I am just going to remove the pork chops. They're still kind of stuck together down here. See how it got a little bit of browning on the bottom there? That's what I like to get. And I'm just gonna put the pork chops over here in my glass dish. Oh, and I did want to go ahead and turn this on. I'm gonna turn off the keep warm mode and I'm gonna turn on the saute mode because I do want to simmer it some more because I'm gonna be thickening up the sauce. I'm just gonna remove these pork chops one by one here. All right, now I am going to let it simmer and I'm going to add the thickener. If you don't have time to let it simmer and reduce a little bit, you can just add extra thickener and that will be totally fine. But if you do have time to kill, you can just let it simmer until it's the thickness that you like. For a thickener, I am going to use sweet potato flour like I always do, but you can use cornstarch or regular flour or arrowroot flour as well. So I'm doing 2 tablespoons. And I just put it in a bowl here with maybe 3 or 4 tablespoons of water. Got it all mixed up and I'm gonna put it in here. And you can always adjust the amount of thickener to make it the way you like it. So I'm just gonna let it simmer here for a little while until it's the thickness that I want it. It's been cooking now for almost 15 minutes and this is about the thickness that I wanted. So I am gonna go ahead and turn off the saute mode and just add my pork chops back in and it is ready to serve. What do you think, Ruthie? Does it look delicious?
No.
No? You don't like mushrooms, do you?
No, I just don't like pork chops.
Oh, you don't like pork chops?
No.
So that is it for our pork chop recipe. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We will be back again soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. You want to say bye, Rainy?
Bye.